So let me tell you about Maya. She was the kind of girl who liked quiet places, the kind of place where you could actually hear yourself think. Every month, she drove out to Old Cypress Chapel, a forgotten little church sitting on a dirt road about an hour outside of Austin. Her grandmother was buried in the tiny cemetery behind it, and Maya made a habit of cleaning the headstone, pulling weeds, and talking to her like she was sitting right there on the grass. Most folks would call that strange, but Maya did not care. It was her thing. On this particular Saturday, the sky was the color of old dishwater, and there was a kind of wind that makes you pull your jacket a little tighter. She parked her little sedan by the iron gate and climbed out, and something in the air felt different, heavy, like the whole place was holding its breath. The first thing Maya noticed was the truck. A faded blue pickup, the kind with rust around the wheel wells, parked crooked near the maintenance shed behind the church. Now Maya knew every car that ever came through here, and she had never seen that truck before. She figured maybe it was a handyman, somebody fixing the roof. But that church had been closed up for years. Nobody was fixing that roof. As she walked through the gate, she glanced up at the building, those two big windows under the peak, dark and watching like a pair of closed eyes. And she would swear on everything she had that she saw a shape move behind the glass. Just for a second, then nothing. Maya knelt by the headstone and started pulling the weeds from around the edges, telling her grandma about school, about her brother, about nothing important. But the whole time, that feeling kept crawling up her neck, like somebody was standing right behind her. She kept looking over her shoulder, but there was nothing but the graves and the long grass. After about 10 minutes, she heard footsteps on the gravel. She turned, and there was a man walking toward her. He was maybe 50, soft around the middle, with a friendly kind of smile. He said her name, just like that, like he had known her his whole life. Maya froze. She had never seen this man before. Maya's mouth went dry. She had not told a soul she was coming here today. She had not even called her dad. Then a second man stepped out from behind the church, and Maya's stomach dropped. He did not say anything, just stood there with his hands in his pockets, watching her. The first man kept talking, asking where she lived, if she came out here alone, if her dad ever came with her. His questions were gentle, but something about the way he asked made the little hairs on the back of her neck stand straight up. Maya glanced up at the church, and there it was again, that shape in the window, only this time it did not move away. It just stood there, watching. 3 sets of eyes now, all on her. Maya got to her feet slow and told the man she had to get going. He stepped a little closer, said her grandmother had left something for her, said it was inside the church, said she should come see. He reached into his jacket, and Maya did not wait to find out what he was reaching for. Her body moved before her brain caught up. She ran. Gravel sprayed behind her boots as she sprinted for the gate, and she could hear the man calling after her, voice still friendly, like nothing in the world was wrong. She hit the gate, fumbled with the latch, and made it to her car in what felt like 10 years, but was probably 10 seconds. She locked the doors, jammed the key in the ignition, and tore out of that lot so fast the tire spun. CE, grandmother had lopped something for the gate and toward heads a gate and the gate and toward head some way, and she could hear the man calling after her, voice still friendly, like nothing in the... Maya drove for 20 minutes before she could breathe right. That night, she called her dad and asked about the men at the cemetery. He did not know who they were. She called her Aunt Lily, and Lily did not recognize them either. Nobody in the family did. A few weeks later, the sheriff's office called. They had picked up 2 men matching their descriptions in a town about an hour north with a truck full of old headstones, bronze plaques, and a notebook full of family trees. They had been using obituaries and old church records to find folks like Maya, folks who visited graves alone, folks who would trust a stranger who knew just enough to seem familiar. Maya still goes to Old Cypress, but never alone, never without her dad. And if you ask her about that shape in the window, she just shakes her head and says, "Some folks you do not need to meet face to face to understand." Now that is